And it's caught! Tyreek Hill, touchdown!
That is a great win for the Miami Dolphins right there.
This season, the Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel are off to another fast start.
Go get him, Mike! Hustle in there!
Another touchdown for Miami, and this is turning into a runaway.
I caught up with the head coach and his family back in June, right after Father's Day.
As we sit here, happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
What'd you guys do to celebrate?
Well, it was just one of the days that were just glorifying me.
Well, exactly. And isn't that every day?
No, they really, you know what's funny about being a father of a 2.5-year-old is every day is daughter day. Yeah.
Oh, it's almost your anniversary.
It is 9 years on Wednesday.
And you know what? I'm going to ask Katie.
See if she remembers.
If it's your anniversary or if she remembers
just the
your...
day.
When it comes to the days and dates of Mike McDaniel's life, his recall is uncanny.
I think it was Sunday, February 7th, 2:46. I got the call, and it was a game changer. Pacific time.
14,533 days have been on the earth. This is one of those that sticks out above all else.
Most of Mike's first 3,400 or so days were spent in Greeley, Colorado, best known for then being the summer training camp home of the Denver Broncos. Mike was raised by his mother, and as a kid, he gravitated towards sports.
In your NFL journey, you knew that you always wanted to play in the NFL, right? You wrote it in your helmet.
No, it wasn't play. It was be in the NFL because I was... sort of aware of my own bone structure. I mean, I was 4'10" in 7th grade, so the word choice was very particular. I was very convicted from an early age that I wanted to get to the spot that I'm at age 40. It was quite literally obsession.
There's so many variables in life. As it pertains to your story, there also has to be a little bit of luck along the way. And in the particular case of a Charlotte Hornets hat.
So I was a greedy little autograph seeker. So I had a ton of cards, and my mom would work till about 7 p.m. every day. So I used Bronco training camp and summer break as
that was also daycare.
Right. I would leave the house at 7 a.m. I would ride over to training camp, go get autographs in the morning, watch practice, and I got Robert Del Pino in the morning. Well, later in the afternoon, I saw him again, and I had seen players shun people for getting multiple autographs, so I knew I was wearing a Charlotte Hornets fitted hat that was very loud.
Yeah.
I'm way ahead of the game. He knows that he's giving a Charlotte Hornets hat kid an autograph. He doesn't know a non-Charlotte Hornets hat kid. So took the hat off, got the autograph, and then...
Because what's better than one, Robert?
Two.
Two.
See? It's simple math that I knew as a 9-year-old. Ran back, hat wasn't there. Complete panic. Start to cry, and a Broncos staff member came out, and I asked him, hey, can you look in the lost and found? See, it's a Charlotte Hornets hat. He goes in for about 5 minutes, comes back out. Sorry. 2 days later, same guy grabs me, and he gives me a hat, and the hat has a price tag on it. So the guy went out and bought me a hat.
Sweet.
I introduced that guy to my mom, and they ended up getting married. And we moved to Denver.
There, McDaniel got work as a ball boy for his favorite team during their back-to-back Super Bowl run in 1997 and 98.
Because I was a fan before being a ball boy, it was very easy for me to outwork all the other coaches' kids because it meant the world to me. I was spotting the ball as a ball boy, like sprinting, really putting in some sweat equity. I was the best towel folder.
What's the technique?
I mean, I've lost that art. I was trained in hot towel folding at that point. That's beyond me now. I've lost that skill.
McDaniel went from hot towel folder to walk-on wide receiver at Yale. Football helped him transition from high school to higher learning.
I found my way, one of which was having identity as a football player. That was actually respected on the team, and it was immense for me.
Undersized by even Ivy League standards, McDaniel rarely saw the field, but he discovered his true passion.
Junior year, when I'm not playing that much, most people would quit. But I ended up redirecting that emotion towards coaching players on the team.
Let's go, dogs on 2. 1, 2, go!
With a degree in history, McDaniel pondered his career path after graduation.
I was looking into like investment banking and stuff like that, and knew I needed to follow my passion to be good at something. So I went back to my 5-year-old dream, and Mike Shanahan offers me a coaching internship over the summer. I'm working with receivers, and then Jerry Rice was in his last training camp and comes and plays for the Broncos. So I was technically coaching Jerry Rice.
And again, this all stems from one Charlotte Hornets fitted baseball hat.
Yeah. Thank you, Larry Johnson and the boys.
The video interview with Mike McDaniel, and today's date is June 29th, 2021. As you sit here right now, Mike, what are some of your career goals?
Well, it's funny. He probably looked at me like I was crazy, but when I sat down with Mike Shanahan for the first time, my career objective was to be a Hall of Fame NFL head coach that uses all of his ability in the direction of winning world championships for a franchise. I was 22 when I made that statement originally, and it hasn't really wavered.
Mike's ambitious goals took root in Texas. When Broncos offensive coordinator Gary Kubiak was hired to be the head coach in Houston, he brought along the 22-year-old McDaniel as an offensive assistant.
I had come from nothing, got into a great school, but then at 22, I was in the NFL. That was awesome, but there's internal battles you have, you know, why am I?
Because you're a 22-year-old
Yeah.
trying to figure it out, and here you are already at the place that you've always wanted to be.
Right. So then what happens is I was kind of turning into a party boy at night.
McDaniel's immaturity led to missed meetings, and he was ultimately fired by Kubiak.
It was December 30th, 2008.
What was his reasoning for letting you go at that time?
He thought that I was talented, and his words were that I needed to learn a hard lesson and grow up.
Out of the NFL, McDaniel found work as a running backs coach for the Sacramento Mountain Lions of the United Football League. In California, McDaniel also found his future wife.
We were at a nightclub, and I see this guy from across the way, and I think he saw me, and we met, and
it was just like that?
Just like that.
Wait, but this is like love at first sight?
I mean, it's just a classic story of when you know things, you know.
In 2011, McDaniel made his way back into the NFL, this time in Washington as an offensive assistant.
February 15th, Kyle Shanahan called me and offered me the job.
This is adorable. You know the day?
Well,
I mean, it's not even Valentine's Day. You're after the day after.
Well, because it was 860-something days from when I was last in the NFL.
McDaniel made stops around the league as an offensive assistant and wide receivers coach. But an unchecked problem followed him too.
You know, people on the coaching staff identified that I was drinking too often, and I'd admittedly say that I agree.
Did you think up to that point you had a problem?
I kind of knew because I would drink some sort of alcohol every day.
What began as social drinking in college was out of control. McDaniel needed help, and an intervention was called to save his career. It would be a day he'd never forget.
You know, I was way behind the 8 ball. So on January 4th, Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan and Raheem Morris all sit me down independently, and I have to come tell my wife. And telling her I really undercut all of her investment into me and was leaving our family vulnerable. And I remember looking at her and that feeling, I hate everything about this.
I could tell he was crushed, and I just, everything he'd worked for, I thought it was gone. And I didn't know what the future was going to be like, but I knew that Mike would do the right thing and be better from it.
Her unconditional love for me in that moment, and her heartbreak and her uncertainty and her fear, that whole thing lumped together. It was that moment that I said, I will never drink again.
After checking himself into rehab, McDaniel has been sober for the last 2,821 days and counting.
Mike has just evolved into this, this beautiful being. Anytime I see him, I see like this white light around him.
Wow.
My wife, Katie McDaniel, we've come a long way. We got a long way to go.
The path to sobriety wasn't the only trial the McDaniels had to endure. After struggling with infertility challenges, the couple welcomed daughter Ayla June in 2021.
That was a whole nother journey that we weren't sure if we were gonna have her, and she was a miracle baby that we feel so fortunate, but it's changed both of us in ways that are very beautiful.
This parent thing is legit. And I'm sure there's some like, just wait, and I know. But right now, she's 2 and thinks I'm awesome, and wants to hang out with me.
How has becoming a father made you a better head coach?
I think, ironically, they're similar in that it's a servitude role. I'm so proud of you. I mean, you are everything you wanted to be and more. Being a dad is very much like being a head coach in that you're constantly concerned about the well-being of other people.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact I couldn't be any of the things that are the most important things to me. Father, husband, man, and then head coach. All of those are a consequence of wanting to be something for someone. To not exist for yourself is a beautiful thing.